Hey, welcome back to the Ping Pong Flick Show. My name is Chris Wong. There's been just a buttload of stuff that's been happening, mostly tinfoil stuff. I mean, I can't even call it tinfoil anymore. It's like tin tank, tin boat, tin steamship. It's huge. But before we get into that, let's look at just a really small little update officially with the DCEU. There's gonna be a Shazam trailer. Yeah, Shazam trailer. The newest Shazam trailer will be dropping this weekend at the CCXP18, which is the Brazil Comic Con. So look out for that. Apparently, there's gonna be a ton of other trailers as well, including Godzilla King of the Monsters. So yeah, I felt like it was supposed to drop this week, but I guess they're gonna officially drop it on Sunday. Brazil. I know it's about DC, but Godzilla, man, can't let that one slide. That's definitely one of my top trailers. I'm really looking forward to. But the new Shazam trailer, that should be really interesting. I know they've done some reshoots and stuff. I don't know how it's going to edit together. Let's see how that turns out. Are we going to actually see Shazam, the original Captain Marvel, fight some bad guys, and not just Dr. Savannah? Because, in the summary it says Dr. Savannah has some, powerful minions or something. I forgot the wording, but it was pretty much his minions that are gonna fight Shazam. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what that is, along with a lot of other things that are probably coming out of this at the Brazil Comic Con. But that's the main one. Now we know Joker finished. Are they gonna show anything? I doubt it. Wonder Woman 84, I doubt it. But Shazam is the next film, and so that will be the one to be looking forward to for this weekend for officially stuff. Now let's get into the Snyder Watch. I'm gonna coin that term. Sonny Bunch put that out. The Snyder Watch. I'm gonna put that out there. Snyder Watch. He has posted on Vero, and he did one this other day. This right here, it's just him, and it says downtown LA, 10 o'clock, and his shadow is just casting over some bridge. Now, for the very, very much, detective skills like Sam Parker and Philippe, they really narrowed in, they really zoomed into that, and you can actually went to that, or I don't know if they zoomed in, they actually went to that street on Google Maps or something, and they actually spotted that in the background, hopes in the background. Now, did Zack Snyder really knew that we were gonna look into that, try to find where he's at, and does he play those types of games? Is it pure coincidence that the word hope is in that area? What is he hoping for? Is there hope across the water? Is this just almost reaching hope? Are we supposed to think like that, or he literally was just jogging out there 10 o'clock at night? What are you doing out there, sir? But 10 o'clock at night, and just decided to capture a picture of himself on a bridge in downtown LA. Don't get mugged, sir. So that was interesting. But then today he posted another photo, and this one is actually an actual still from the Snyder Cut, from Justice League. Now he puts down BVS reference context, and is in context to Kumar, who actually, he said he was a genius at finding this coffee shop reference in Batman v Superman. So this same coffee shop that from the Batman v Superman reference contest is in Justice League, and you actually see Zack Snyder sitting there. Now, we are looking at this like, oh, that's cool. Zack Snyder had a cameo in the movie we never saw. But it's cool because he's in there, and it's great that this is an actual official still. But the cooler part, I think, in any case, is this is Lois Lane, and Zack Snyder says it in the messagings between him and his fans, is that this is the part where Lois Lane goes to see her dear loved one at Heroes Park, which is Superman. So at Heroes Park. And so we recognize that she's wearing that gray raincoat, trench coat, much like the opening of the theatrical cut of Justice League. So we assume that's where she was headed. She has a cup of coffee in the theatrical cut. But at the coffee shop, it looks like she's going to be carrying 2 cups of coffee. And that is because Mark McClure was supposed to be in this scene. He plays a police officer that chauffeurs her around, takes her to Heroes Park. And that's supposedly where she gives him a cup of coffee. Why is he chauffeuring around? That is still unclear. But Mark McClure had come out. The original Jimmy Olsen come out and said that was the original scene. And so you're looking at that, and we're also looking at the Heroes Park scene. And some people on Twitter, and there's a whole bunch of you, but John Doe Movie Review put out a picture of Heroes Park, the scene where Superman comes out, shirtless, he's standing there. And you look at that shot, and you look at the opening shot. It looks like the same shot. It's just darker in one. Superman, of course, is not in that one. But you see the cop cars. It look like they're in pretty much the same position. What is up with that? Did they not? They were too lazy to reshoot that scene, so they took that scene and they made it darker, took out Superman and everything, and so they were put in where Lois Lane was, just so that they cannot have to see the military people in the background. From what we know is that military were involved in that battle. There was a tank. You see it in the trailer. Cyborg shoots a tank, a fiery tank that almost killed Mark McClure's police officer character, because Mark McClure was supposed to be a police officer, not a security guard or a prison guard. So was that what they were trying to do with that scene? It also comes into multiple questions about that scene, like, is Lois Lane visiting the memorial or Heroes Park, and then maybe she got sad and she told Mark McClure's character, the cop, that maybe I'll take a walk, gives him her coat for some other reason, and she's wearing the green trench coat from underneath, and that's why we see her turn up and look at the sky in the trailer? Or is it 2 different scenes? At this point in time, we have to expect and we have to know that Lois Lane, the whole opening montage, is probably not supposed to be there. Whedon did that. Joss Whedon admitted he did that opening montage sequence. He also chose the song, and so everybody knows. And so if you take out of that fact, take all those factors out, that's not the opening scene. Those 2 Lois Lane scenes could pretty much be the same day. I mean, yeah, when it rains, it probably rains and it has the water spots are in the same area. But how does it explain the cop cars? So, and why would Mark McClure's character, a cop, be chauffeuring her twice in 2 separate days? So you have to kind of assume that. And Mark McClure said himself he did that whole scene and what he believed was the beginning of the film or earlier in the film. He might have got mixed up because supposedly Snyder Cut's 3 hours. That Mark McClure's scene with Lois Lane and the Clark's resurrection may have been the earlier of the second act, possibly. I'm just guessing at this point. But it is interesting to know, and hopefully maybe one day Zack Snyder will tell us if that was the same scene. But doesn't explain why she has 2 different coats. Does she have the gray coat over the green coat over the green shirt, the blouse? I mean, how was that explained? I'm not sure. Although someone did have a picture that she had a cup of coffee, and it was in the Justice League art book, actually. I wish I had took it out. But it shows her with a cup of coffee, And so either she went to that place coffee twice. Mark, the cop is taking her around twice. Who knows at this point until we actually see the Snyder Cut or until Zack Snyder reveals something. Although I thought I remember Dave Penis saying that he knows how Justice League opens. What is he going to tell us about that, right? Come on, Dave, spill it. So those are two great things that happened with the Snyder Watch, what Snyder put out. He seems to be putting out a little bit more stuff. I hope that means in a good way that we're going to get to something. And this leads us into really tinfoil, tin tank, tin bowl, tin plane, large tin mansion type stuff here, so be wary about that. I just like to mention though, that whole thing about Aquaman connecting to Snyder Cut, I'd really have to say that Lord Paul Escobrie was right about that, right? He said that from a long time before, so we gotta give it to him. He was right about that, how Aquaman continues after the Justice League Snyder Cut, in which that's what he said. Now, we don't know. I haven't watched Aquaman, and I will watch it in like 11 days, but I haven't watched it, and it could just start at the submarine without even talking about the truck and Volko and Mara, trying to convince him, anything like that. But according to Jason Momoa, that's what happens. But someone did watch Aquaman, and that person is Bhaskar Bulbulja. I just totally dismantled that, but he was also quite right about that. He told us a long time before that Aquaman is pretty much Snyder Cut Aquaman, and we shouldn't be worried about that. It fits nicely right in. Lord Paulus has said the same thing days before that would reveal out. So I don't know. It could be. Was it coincidence, or is this facts, or are these things that we have talked? That's why I put it in tinfoil air, because it's not really solid proof yet, but it is interesting and it is fun to talk about, and it is great. There's no room for logic here, but. Bhaskar Bulbul keeps saying that even the Snyder Shazam is part of the Snyder Cut timeline as well. So we'll see more about that, and we don't have to wait too much longer. But that's great. I mean, that is great that it fits in nicely with what the Snyder Cut used to be. Very maybe vague references as such as how like Man of Steel are referenced in Shazam. But does that actually mean we're going to get the Snyder Cut? I mean, are we going to actually be getting anything? And how is it going to be released? Now, I told you about the other day that Big Mouth Movies TV Man had put on his video yesterday that the possibility of be releasing on the DC streaming service when it hits worldwide. And so, which is interesting. When I came up with that idea, it's because someone told me a long time back, and I think I had a video before the AT&T merger, is that what Zach was trying to do was go to the AT&T people and say they wanted to, and that's why I brought that up. And I thought of all the the money type, the investments reasons why that would be a smart move, which was in a way confirmed by that, and then also confirmed by Lord Paulus, who said that it will be in a multimedia format, including streaming services. I also contacted that other source I had from across the water. So nobody in America, but essentially saying they're waiting for the worldwide release of the DC streaming service as well. And so I'm putting all these things together. And I'm like, could that be? Are they really thinking about that? So I don't know. I'm not sure. But I think even John Aaron would agree that that's a lot of people would agree that would be the most feasible. I'll take it. I mean, it's better than nothing, right? I'd rather watch it in the theaters to tell you the truth. Lord Paul says it will be a multimedia format, including streaming services. So that's even, wow, that's even better. But as in terms of financial, I think even Screen Rant, Stephen Colbert had talked about it. Probably best to put on a DC streaming service. There's not much investment into that. So that's where I'm aiming at. That's where I think they're really going to go in a logical conclusion. In a dream state, I would love to see go to theaters and there's like a new poster and it's like Snyder Cut, you know. Well, it's not going to say Snyder Cut, but it's going to say Justice League, the real version, Justice League, non-Whedon, I don't know. But I would love that. That would be ideal. That would be like a dream come true. But if it comes on a DC streaming service as this alternate cut or whatever, I'll take that as well. And but if that's the case, if we're allowed to dream in tinfoil, I have a wish list. And one is that the new Justice League would be like canon, right? And it would like, oh, this is the one that's supposed to come out, and it comes out in November, and the one you saw last on Vero, forget about that one. That was weird. What the hell happened? But even in the dream state, Lord Paulus has given a different story. And this one he had told us many days ago, is not current, that it's going to be hybrid. And you're like, what? A hybrid? Yeah, it's so this is what he says. Initially, Jail was a 2-part movie, and it was shot like a 2-part, which we know. They shot the entirety of 1 and 2, or enough for two movies. That's what Ray Fisher said, and that's what Jason Momoa said. But since then, the second part is going to be mixed with the original vision, giving us an hybrid version for the Snyder Cut. Huh? The part 2 will be renamed Justice League 2 and expect to be announced next year. So, wait, what? So if we're not allowed to dream about just the original Snyder Cut coming out, okay, we're not allowed. If we're allowed to dream that, of course, we're totally allowed. But if that's not going to happen in this dream tinfoil world, the other option is apparently Justice League. The Snyder Cut will be a hybrid version, meaning the second part of what the original 2-parter is going to be chopped down with parts of the Snyder Cut blended into what they're going to call Justice League 2. What? So the good thing is that if it's true they shot, and why would Ray lie, that they shot enough for 2 movies, although when you shoot film, you shoot quite a bit of film, so I don't know what that meant. But enough for 2 movies, then they already had part 1 and part 2. They narrowed down, chunked it down into what we've heard about Justice League, during the time of the Justice League set visit, where they said they're going to change Deborah Snyder. Warner Brothers really pandered to the hater bloggers. God, I hate, it's just sickening to see Devin Faraci, Peter Soretta, and Steve Weintraub. And I just watched it again, stomach churning. But during that time, it could be called where Warner Brothers told Chuck Roven to go all the way to London and tell them, we got to change it. Or Jeff Johns was involved. We got to change it. We got to do things. And so that 2-parter became a 1-parter. And so there's a lot of footage laying on the floor or stuff. But the good part is that there's already footage laying on the floor. They don't have to take all these people back and reshoot something. If this is the case, what they're going to do is in a hybrid version for the Snyder Cut. Meaning, though, there's 2 things out of that, if that's the case, that Justice League 1 is going to be the Whedon cut. That's canon. I mean, it is canon now, but it's gonna continue being that's the one we're gonna have to put on our shelves. But if that means we're gonna get part two and it's the Snyder hybrid Snyder cut, then yeah, okay. But of course, this is all tinfoil area. None of this is actually reported to be true or anything. This is what Lord LPC's been saying about what the Snyder Cut would be, essentially. So at least I think that's what he's saying. And if it's not going to have the Snyder Cut with Justice League Part 2, but I don't know. It's sometimes difficult to read his messages when it's not very clear. But there's going to be an extended edition of the Nightmare scene. There's no Flashpoint. Superman, black suit, brainwashed by Darkseid. All the great, cool stuff that we want from that. And hopefully that that'd be a dream. That'd be a total dream. But it is interesting how these things are happening. There are logical explanations for everything, like why Wonder Woman is being pushed back 7 months. Why Diana Gal Gadot says, we're changing back to the original landscape. All these things, Aquaman and Shazam and all these hints from Zack Snyder. There could be totally logical solutions and all that, but not in this segment. This segment, we're going to just have fun with it, and I'll continue. Seemingly, you guys love the tinfoil edition stuff, and it was just so much today. One last bit, and this just came out. Carlos actually put this out, and I retweeted it. Thank you so much, Carlos, for actually putting this up. This was an actual article from Hollywood Reporter. Is that Warner Media rolls out a 3-tier streaming offering. There's going to be a different streaming packages. Apparently, they want smaller, price-sensitive packages, different streaming packages. AT&T. So they're really going on that online thing. Now, this could signal. This could be a place where the Snyder Cut could be released. Offers suggestion from Carlos Digital, Bob Diggy 69, that could be another way for a Snyder Cut could release. So there's different mediums. Maybe they're tackling. Maybe it's not DMC streaming service. Maybe there's going to be a different one, another different streaming service. Who knows? But there is money to be had there. There's investments to be had there. And like I said, you guys got the footage. There is one version that's probably already put together. You guys all watched in February of 2017. That might be the one to put out. I'm just saying. I don't know. But until then, we'll continue to collect and gather and think and tinfoil. Bust out all the aluminum you can. It's going to be a really fun few weeks from now. There's going to be a lot of trailers, not just DC, but Marvel as well. There's going to be Frozen 2, possibly Star Wars Episode 9, Godzilla. This weekend and this month alone would be pretty fun. But just closing now. My channel is going to be doing a new opening, so you might have already seen it if I've got a time to do it after this video, but that's the type of content I'm going to be talking about. So that's a little hint. The pictures you see, that's going to be the type of content I'm going to be talking from now on. So, and that seems to match what I want to do and what amount of time I have to do. So hope you like it. Well, anyway, that is it for tonight. Thank you so much for subscribing. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.